In this video, I'll show you three methods to create group serial number, applying each method to three separate examples. Let's start with the first example. You can see the table. The first five rows contain the top five sales performers for January, and the next five rows contain the top five performers for February. I want to create the group serial number for the first five rows from 1 to 5, and to create the group serial number for the next five rows again from 1 to 5. The formulas I will apply are rows function, sequence function, and mode function. The rows function returns the total row numbers I will select. If I just close the bracket and press enter, you can see the total row numbers I have selected 15. Now I will create serial number for 15 rows starting from 0, and I will use sequence function to create the serial number sequence. The rows will be 15 comma, and I will skip the columns argument, and the start argument I will write 0 because I want to start from 0. I'll close the bracket and press enter. I have received serial number from 0 to 14. Now I will use mode function, and we know mode function returns the remainder. I mean, if I divide 4 by 3, the remainder will be 1, and if I divide 3 by 3, the remainder will be 0. So the numbers will be my serial number, comma, and divisor will be 5 because I want to create the serial number for the first 5 rows and for the second 5 rows and so on. Now I will just close the bracket and press enter. I have the serial number from 0 to 4 for the first 5 rows, and again 0 to 4 for the second 5 rows. As I want to start the serial number, I mean the group serial number from 1, so I will just add 1 and press enter. Now I have the serial number from 1 to 5. Now I will combine the three formulas and will write the formulas in just one single cell. So I'll use mode function. In the mode function, you can see I have to supply number. So I'll create sequence function for creating serial number, and the rows I'll use rows function, and I'll just select the rows and close the bracket. In the columns, I will just skip, and in the start I will write 0 and close the bracket, comma, and the divisor will be 5 and just close the bracket and plus 1 and press enter. Now I have the serial number from 1 to 5 for the first 5 rows, and again from 1 to 5 for the second 5 rows, and so on. Let's move on and see the second example. Here I will create the serial number for my designation. Here the rows number are not same. The first 5 rows contain EVP, and the second 4 rows contain SVP, and the third 3 rows contain VP. So the rows number are not same. Here I will use the sequence function, rows function, and XMATCH function. And we know XMATCH function returns the position of each value. The first argument is lookup value. So I will select the designation range, comma, and in the lookup array I will select the range again as I am using the dynamic array function. So I'll just close the bracket and press enter. You can see EVP is in the first row, SVP in the second row, and VP is in the 10th row. Now I will use the sequence function for creating serial number. So sequence, in the rows I will use the rows function. I have already discussed about the rows function in the first example. I will just select the range and close the bracket, and columns I will skip, and start I will just write 1 and close the bracket and close the bracket, press enter. I have serial number from 1 to 14. Now I deduct the value I have received by using XMATCH function from the serial number. Press enter and double click the small square green box. Now I have the group serial number starting from 0 to 4 for the first 5 rows and 0 to 3 for the second 4 rows. As I want to start the serial number from 1, so I will add 1 and press enter. Now I have serial number for the first 5 row from 1 to 5 and again from 1 to 4 and again from 1 to 3. Now I'll combine all the functions. The first function will be sequence. In the rows, I will write the rows function and I will select the designation, close the bracket. I can skip all the arguments. I'll just close the bracket. Minus, I will use XMATCH function. I will select the designation range again, comma, and in the lookup array, I will select the designation again and just close the bracket and press enter. Now I have the serial number from 0 to 4 for the first 5 rows, 0 to 3 for the second 4 rows. I will add 1. I will enclose all the function and just plus 1. Press enter. Now I have my expected serial number from 1 to 5, from 1 to 4 and from 1 to 3. Now I will show the third example. I want to create the serial number for my grade. Each grade is not in the same position. So I want to create the serial number for O and the number will start from 1 and it will be 2 and it will be 3 and so on. Again, for E grade, the serial number will start from 1, it will be 1, it will be 2 and again it will be 3. Here I will use the COUNTIFS function and I will explain why I am using it and I will share the concept of COUNTIFS function to create group serial number in separate position. The first argument is criteria range. The criteria range will be this cell and I will write colon. When I will press the colon, you can see the cell repeats again, comma, criteria will be this cell again. I'll just log the first cell. So how this function will work? You can see C3, I mean the value O, it will search from C3 to C3. When I will drag the function in the second cell, it will find E from the range C3 to C4. When I will be in the third row, it will search the value S within the range C3 to C5. If I press enter, you can see I have received 1. If I just double click the small square green box, let me double click this cell. This function is searching O within the range C through to C8 and this O exists 2 times. Again, if I double click this cell, it is searching O from the range C3 to C12 and it is working this way. Now I will just use the map function. Map, the array will be my enter range, comma, I will use lambda and parameter I will use X. I can write any variable. Here in the first cell range, I will refer X and in the criteria cell, I will refer the X again. I will just close the bracket and close the bracket, press enter. I have to remove all the values. Now I have received my expected result and this is 1 1 1 because each value exists once. Again, this is 2 because O exists in this range 2 times and this is 3 because O exists in this range 3 times and each value is working this way. So I hope you like this video. Thank you.